Yes, Mayor Graham. I have a question pertaining to a story that was done on March 1st. In it quotes that the city police had to ask parade goers to remove their dogs from the parade. However, just above that, it says that this dog ban only pertains to events at the Alex P. Duffy Fairgrounds, Watertown Farm and Market, the 4th of July concert at Thompson Park, and on city-owned playgrounds. So nowhere in there does it say that dogs are not allowed to.
I think it says in this, my recollection of the ordinance is that it specifically mentions those events and other events with significant public assembly and so on.
All right. Well, I'm thinking that maybe the city should post these ordinances for everybody to read because, quite frankly, I'm sorry, it just looks kind of bad for, Addie Russell to be able to have her Irish wolfhounds in this parade.
I don't think they were hers.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a saying that this new ban supposedly is in place, but these two dogs are allowed to be in this parade because it has these muzzles. So does that mean I can take my dog down to the farm and market?
No, but listen, why do we have this debate? Why is it so pivotal and so important in your life that you take your dog to the farmer's market? You don't.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, if you go down to the hitching post today, you don't take your 5-year-old there. You make a decision. This is a setting in which it's a certain type of thing. If you go to the department,
why I'm finding this ban important is because I'm saying with the recent events with the pit bull attack, is that if this ban's in place for these dogs now, what is this going to lead to in the future? Because I'm sorry, I can definitely see the city council passing a ban on pit bulls or dangerous breeds, as you're going to call them, within the city. I can just see that happening.
Well, I doubt it's very enforceable, but I think the people who have problems and get cited, I think, need to be some people made examples of or whatever in terms of existing law, whether there need to be the ability to enforce those kind of laws, because they do contradict with current state law, is pretty dubious. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. But, I think there has to be a little change in mindset about appropriate situations. You wouldn't, if you were going shopping at Sears today, you wouldn't bring your dog there, would you?
Well, you hope not, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not so much contradicting this. I mean, I'm just saying, this ban's in place, but why is it only applying to certain situations?
Well, the idea was to zero in on those things where there was significant amounts of public assembly, where a lot of people, a high-density situation, and nobody wanted to, just be too over the top on it. So certain things like street fairs, maybe parades if they're heavily attended. I mean, there's a certain judgment call to it. And
sure it is. But like I said,
and frankly, the people with a dog and so on, probably if they stayed off, I'm not interpreting the law and I'm not stating law, but probably if they stayed off by themselves and didn't mingle right in with the thicket of things, they probably wouldn't have a problem. But you got to understand, you got a Rottweiler.
I understand, but I guess at the same time, I really like the story of News Junkie today, how it got the dog owner's perspective, because the thing I don't like about all these stories is that where is it bringing into account, okay, well, what is the parent of the child doing wrong? Where can the parent of the child be maybe better watching it?
Well, I agree. I agree with that. There's a responsibility there. It's like the constant controversy between motorists and pedestrians. When you step off the curb, do you have an empirical right to expect everyone will stop, or should you look both ways too? And should it be a team effort? I'm inclined to think it's the latter. So, I mean, yes, the parents have to maybe adopt a different attitude towards these things, but to a certain extent, you should be able to go out in public in an urban environment without having these situations crop up so much. And
no, I understand, but
I talked to a guy yesterday who goes jogging and says he carries a knife with him because he runs into these animals.
I'm sorry?
I was talking to a gentleman yesterday who was an insurance broker and so on, not like some fly-by-night 20-year-old, but he was telling me he carries a knife with him every day when he goes jogging in certain areas because just in case he runs into one of these animals and on the loose.
I understand that. I mean, I understand that you do have to protect yourself. Like I said, I talked to a gentleman who said that he was out walking his dog, and the parent was right there, and they had children throwing sticks at their dog.
Well, and that's wrong. And
it's kind of like, okay, this is a two-sided scenario.
I understand it, and it's wrong. Nobody's saying that that's okay. I'm just saying that it might be in your best interest to look at your
problem. Maybe enforce these rules. Hey, you need to it's hard.
What kind of dog you got, ma'am?
I'm not going to disclose all this information, but the point of the matter is.
Well, no. Do you have a dog?
I do have dogs, but I'm just saying, it's just these stories are just very frustrating to read because you're only getting the one.
Well, yeah, but you can you can call certainly you can call this talk show, but you can talk to the media, as that one lady did with News Junkie, and some media is more interested in the story than others, but I'm sure the Times would be glad to talk to you too, and you're always welcome to come to city council meetings and express your views. This is not some kind of trying to pick on somebody type of thing. It's this is a recurrent type of complaint that we as elected officials get, and a concern and so on. It may not be the biggest concern of everything that's out there, but it's a concern of some people.
Another issue that I said this is kind of creeping up with today's story is, as I mentioned today in News Junkie, is Watertown is a growing area. Drugs are becoming an increasing problem, and yes, pit bulls tend to be used for the drug dealers. So maybe we do not have a pit bull problem, maybe we have a drug problem in Watertown that should be looked into. Because, like I said, one lady...
But you gotta understand that you're judged by, in many cases, who or what you associate with. You may not be associated with that, but certainly that breed is, and it's inevitable that people are going to judge it on that behalf. Is it fair in every case? No. But there's a lot of things in life that aren't fair. There's a lot of prejudices and discrimination and other things that go on that aren't necessarily fair. We've got that situation in Sanford, Florida, where this neighborhood watch guy is apparently claiming that because someone was wearing a hoodie, they were somehow threatening to him, and so he blew him away. I think the situation's going to eventually be pretty clear that was not justified. But those kind of impressions and prejudices and things, stereotypes are going to exist, and you've got to realize it. And if you've got, a dog that is known for its sort of badass image, and that's exactly what they're known for, and you've got it used by some people, not all people, for nefarious purposes, then you've got to accept the fact that the public's going to make a judgment on it.
Well, like I said, I understand that, but
it's not like it's a foo-foo dog. I realize foo-foo dogs can bite people too, but the real implications of this, and then when you have an incident like the one last weekend, yeah, it does drive it home. Anyway, I got to run. I got commercials to do. Thank you for the call. Bye now. And we'll be back with more in a moment.